You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Hour, the show that brings you unfiltered stories and insight from the Twin Cities real estate world with your hosts, Chris Rooney, broker at RE/MAX Preferred, and Andy Presky, leader of the Preferred Home Team at RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Hello.
That's cool. You guys are wearing masks today for Halloween. That's nice.
Funny.
What's wrong with you?
I was told I have to mute myself when not speaking, so I'm going to be very quiet today because.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I like
Andy,
hearing you talk, Chris.
Andy, what is the best realtor costume for Halloween?
Oh God, I don't know how to set myself up for this. I'm not sure.
You got to have a photo of him, don't you, somewhere? I mean, there's always something of him on that internet.
What's been your favorite costume, Andy, that you've done? The most compliments you've gotten?
I liked when I went as Carl Spackler, or I liked it as from Caddyshack. When that was when I had the most fun because I had a ball washer. A buddy of mine owns a golf course, and he literally gave me the ball, and I sat there wearing the Caddyshack hat, and I'd sit there and I'd pump the thing, going, "Oh, that's right, Mrs. Johnson, hit the ball," and that was funny. Then I did the one where I was Cousin Eddie. Pumping the old tanks out of the old RV. That took a lot to find a white robe that fit funny, I'm assuming you got a loaded gun here.
I'm thinking that same thing.
But what about like real estate costumes? I mean, like something that would say, "Oh, he's a real estate agent," but making fun of it. Know what I mean? Not just some.
I don't know. I'm not sure really. I've seen. I just saw a couple of these memes going around where they had it said the top award winner contest, and it says a copy of a magazine where you pay for your own to be on the cover. I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, wait, time out. I think I sent that in to you guys. The one, right here.
Yes.
Top producer
magazine that you paid to be in. Love it.
How true. Boy, you're an unbelievable agent. They're doing stories about you. Oh, that's right. You paid for it.
Weird. What have you been up to, Chris?
I've been working. It's been crazy. But I am going to Iowa State on Saturday morning and tailgating.
Huge.
Yep.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, a buddy of mine has been doing it. They go down there. Their kids go to school there, so they go down there and cook breakfast for all these kids and get like 60, 70 people. And then they have big TVs and everything outside the stadium, obviously indulge in a few beverages, and then they rest a little and head back home. So I think I'm going to try that.
Have you seen they're switching? You said Iowa State, right?
Yeah.
They have a new, before you go, look at their new concept village they have coming for that area. They're building a whole town around that concept of tailgating. And It looks spectacular.
Cool.
I mean, it'll rival, if they do it, it'll rival a lot of these NFL villages outside the stadiums.
I think I found something for you and I to do, Andy, more than just meet every Thursday at 8 a.m. It used to be every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Guess what it is?
I don't know. A lot of questions this morning.
We're gonna go bartend. Last night I went to Kazuko. It's kind of off Excelsior and Eden Prairie Road in kind of in that Eden Prairie Minnetonka area. And Lee and Julie Bernick, who work at your office, I know them very well. They are helping their friends out. They just decided they would be like bartending. They've never done it before, but they just wanted to kind of go out and have some fun. So from 4 to 9 on Wednesdays, they do it. So I said, I'm gonna go see them. I walk in, you can't get in. I mean, they've got like a cult following. And if you go there 3 Wednesdays in a row, you get a drink named after you. They've got all these fun things, but they have a great time. They don't even take money for it. You know, they get tips and stuff, but they don't even take money. So that was pretty fun.
Wow.
Real fun. And it's good food.
You used to have those get-togethers at your office and had a bunch of shenanigans going on.
Yeah. This one seems this is kind of fun. So I think we could do that. I think we'd be pretty good at that.
We got to do what was that movie with Tom Cruise where they Cocktail or whatever where they learn how to flip all the jugs and the
I knew how to do that with the match. Remember he threw the match and it went down the thing and lit right in front of him? I learned how to do that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I couldn't flip the bottles though, but
I've never partaken in any of that kind of shenanigans before. So I'll be all new to me.
Yeah. I think the market's getting weirder and weirder, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like it's still something I don't think we've quite figured out yet. I don't think we're going to for a little while. Yeah. There's some people that are getting scared and dumping, and then there's other people that aren't. There's some people that are getting multiple offers, and there's still price points that are really hot. And then there's some others that are not. Interest rates are all over the board. News up and down. We don't know which way it's going. So it's just.
Well, you want me to give you some positive news that's been documented?
Yes.
It's hearsay.
Oh.
The average Minnesota household from January 1st through the 1st of this month has appreciated $28,000. Doesn't sound like a negative place to be to me.
You're always so positive, Andrew.
Well, but I know, but I mean, obviously, my newspaper would not be very popular because it'd be full of the real news. And hey, there's a lot of great volunteering going on in our community. Blah blah. Put me to sleep. You know. Oh look at this. This guy helped pay somebody's mortgage payment because they're in trouble. Yeah, I get it. Nobody would care. So they want drama. They want fire. They want murder. They want crashing housing. They want all these crazy things. And it comes down to where I tell you what. It is definitely changed. It's not that crazy, you know, but here's what I'd say. And if you watch any of these mortgage guys, by the way, kudos to all the mortgage professionals that are out there that now have enough time to actually do marketing. Because before they were so busy printing their money off the refis that they were getting called into their office. And now, oh my God, I've never been invited to so many luncheons, coffee meetings in my life. They're all out there again. Oh, hey, you got any purchase business you want to sell me? I mean, come on. But anyway, put all that aside. Love all of them. They're wonderful people. The reality of the market, guys, is that right now listings, which were the historical lowest we've seen, are up 29%. Oh my God! So are they even? No, they're still historically low. We're still not anywhere near where we need to be. We also have showings. Oh my God, showings are down 18%. Right? These are the numbers we just saw nationally. That just means that there's people that just got priced out of the market and they can't get what they want. So now the market even got tighter, right? So think about this for a second. You have less houses for sale. You have buyers that are still there and simple economics. We have not enough supply to provide for all the people that want to buy. So you're still going to, even though it feels really weird and all the stories you hear on the news, you're still seeing pressure on pricing and you're still seeing the hot properties selling. I had one this week, went up and went down and multiple offers. And, you know, people are like, oh, that's not happening anymore. It's happening. But you have to be the prettiest house at the best, you know, possible pricing point, and then you sell multiple offers. So if you're thinking that, hey, you know, all those offers that were 600, but they got offered 625 and then they got offered 650, we're kind of back down to that 610. I mean, we're not going backwards as much as we're just taking the legs off those offers that were basically artificial offers anyway. Right? I mean, they were real, but you know what I'm saying. It wasn't true appreciation.
It was paying a premium to get one, you know.
Right. But take the premiums off the sale prices, and that's actually, thank you for saying that. I've been looking for a phrase. That's a great phrase, taking the premium off of the prices.
Yeah. I think the other thing, I was looking at the other day, and people are saying, oh my gosh, you know, my payment's going up $500. And I'm like, well, let's look at it this way. I mean, this is the next step up house. So you're probably going to be there, 5 years? Your payment's going up $500 a month. That's great. So that's $6,000 a year times 5 years. That's $30,000. There's some values out there that you're getting 40, 50,000 less. I mean, you're ahead of the game, and so people have to stop looking at like they're going to pay this payment for 30 some years, because you're just not, it's not going to happen.
I'm laughing because I just realized we're wearing the same exact shirt. We're both wearing a polo gray.
Mine's black.
Losers.
Mine's black.
Oh my God.
Look at us. I better match
Chris,
my.
what are you gonna wear today?
The head
I'm
up
gonna
with
wear
you, too.
something gray and sassy.
Mine's a little more sexy. I'm showing a little more something
Yeah.
wrong with this thing. So
You like that? You like to sell the skin for sure. I'm
I
a
do.
little more conservative over here with my values. That one
totally.
is loose as Rooney.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, it's true.
He's like Old Spice guy here. He's kind of set. Is it cold where you are?
I'm back in Poland. Yeah, it's cold, so I'm dressed up a little bit.
Back in Poland.
Back in Andy's homeland, ancestry.
Yep.
Milshka.
Still waiting for my jersey, my friend.
I tried.
I'll be wearing that every day. You know that.
I do have a hat though. I'll get you for sure a hat or something. I do have some extra stuff, but
7 and 7/8, man. This melon's huge. My poor mother. I was actually born with this exact skull.
Damn.
I know.
To go off Andy's point, we're gonna get to it. The 8 reasons why the housing Armageddon isn't gonna happen. But first, I want to play some funny memes here with Halloween,
Nice.
and get you guys to react quick. So hold on.
Thanks for coming at such short notice to price out the house. No problem. Let me know when you guys are ready to list. Then they ghost them.
They ghost them. Yeah. Boy, isn't that funny? Sometimes that just happens. I'll tell you what I've found is to, you think, oh my gosh, you're not going to talk to me, and you just try them once, just try them again. And it's usually just they missed it, or, hey, I got busy and life gets busy, and boom, boom. I just had a situation like that. And then all of a sudden they called me back and said, let's buy it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were just got busy.
I used to have a lot of my past clients too. Like they would do a refi or a cash out refi or something like that, and they just needed a value. And that's where you would feel like you got used. And we'd spend 2-3 hours putting a value together when they have no intention of selling. And that is a little So here's what I would, all jokes set aside, if you have a real estate agent and the real estate agent's helping you establish a value for other reasons other than selling, no problem. Just tell them that up front and say, hey, listen, I have no intention of selling right now, but when I do, you're also going to be my call. But right now, I need a little help with establishing a value. Can you help me out? And here's who I'm establishing the value for. Can you send it to me in this kind of a format or whatever?
Yeah.
What?
I've been doing with the market changing. You start doing a little more open houses, trying to generate some traffic and some different people, and getting comments and kind of getting the beat of or the pulse of the market. And it's funny because I just go to people and just say, hey, are you ready to buy this? Are you ready to buy today? Or are you just looking, or what is it? And just get to the point. And people kind of really appreciate it. And it's kind of like, it's funny, like, oh, wow. And, but it's like, I don't want to pester you and bug you. And, let's just kind of guess where we're at. But if you want information, I'll give it to you. If you're interested in this place, it's fantastic. If it's too much, and there's something else that you want, let's just talk, and just get past kind of all the little showmanship. And so,
yeah. Sounds like dating.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to get married or not?
I'm the Tinder of real estate now.
I wasn't going to say it, but I'll go with it. That's awesome.
They just skip all the other stuff. What Nick should maybe talk about that a little.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I guess we're going to get another meme. All right. What is this? Better cash in while I can and sell my house. It's starting to be a clown here, it looks like. I put over $250 and 3 weekends into renovation. It's at least $900,000. Let's just drop the price by $1 to get on everybody's radar. It's been sitting for a few months. And then lowest and best due by 5 p.m. Sunday.
Lowest and best.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a new one.
I don't know. Nick will have to explain that one to me again. I have problems sometimes with these things. It's just kind of they become more of a clown as it goes. It looks like, but
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people though that have that kind of fear that they're, like, oh, we're going to miss that market. And for those of us who went through the housing crisis in the 2000s, 8 to 12 or whatever it was, and they felt trapped. And I think there was a lot of people that felt that way. And so those that lived through that before don't want to feel trapped. So they're like, I'd rather take a $20,000 hit now and get my house sold quick and give myself liquidity so I can go do whatever I want, right? Because one thing that is still clicking, no matter what happens in the markets, is your age. So, no matter what phase of life that you're in, that doesn't stop. So if you need one level living or you want to be on the lake, that's your dream. I suggest you do it while you're healthy. I don't think, you're ever going to be that 90-year-old that says, I finally have enough money and I'm going to the lake for the first time ever. And unless you're on a condo or something that looks at the lake, which would be wonderful. And then you have to do anything except enjoy it. But I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I really do actually. And it is so true. And I don't think people think like that. They're like, I mean, that last $5,000 is like the biggest thing ever. And it's like in the whole scheme of things, by having the ability maybe to move out easier or cut a couple months off your payments later on, to have the stress off of you, to not be making beds and doing that kind of stuff is, sometimes it's not a bad thing. And I was one of those, Mr. Prasky, that you're talking about. And the things don't matter. Like I said, it took me 20 houses to get a 3-season porch, and I love 3-season porches. I love them, and I won't not have one again. And so, and did I make money off it? Who knows? It doesn't really matter. But yeah, you got to 100%.
Kind of does.
What's that?
I said, it kind of does.
All right. Yeah, you got to. Yeah.
If you walked away and you don't have to pay attention, you made money.
Yeah. All right. What are we doing?
No, but I kind of an interesting example of that is I had somebody that was building their new house, and we were kind of stuck on a price where they had to get a certain amount out of that house. And one thing that I can tell anybody that's in that position where they're still trying to make that move to the upgrade or whatever, things are moving all over the place right now. There's new rules, there's new exemptions being made by the banks, where all of a sudden they have upfront premiums being paid, and it can lower your payment, which means you can put more money down, which there's all kinds of cool tools that are out there. So if there's a will that you want to buy something or do something right now, you still can do it. There's still wonderful equity out there. There's still lots of great choices. I would say this. The other thing that, again, I pick on my mortgage buddies. They're all putting out videos talking about what a great time it is to be a buyer. And they're all saying how, hey, now you can actually look at the house and bring your family back 2 days later and still look at the house. So in some situations, and you can ask for a home inspection. You can, usually ask for in some cases, closing costs. So there's a little bit more give, which makes the buyer feel better. And then even at the current rates, which historically are not crazy, but we're just not used to them quite yet. But even at 7.25, whatever it is, they're like, buy the house, rent the rate. And then, a lot of these lenders now are even doing really cool programs where they're refinancing up to 2 years later at no cost. So, you know what I mean? So it's kind of neat. So then let's say rates do go down after the first year, the recession starts hitting us a little harder. And then that drives the mortgage rates down. Most of these lenders are saying, hey, let's refinance you guys, get that payment down another $700 a month or whatever it is, and lock it in. Then you won the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And these types of markets also encourage creativity and figuring out different ways in which to market and sell loans, because they got to sell. And so they come up with different things and they adjust. And that's a good thing about these types of markets, is that all of a sudden things that weren't really out there are like, hey, we can do this for you. Just like Andy's saying, there's a way in which to be able to, one big thing that's happened is the ability to qualify, because you qualify on a payment. And obviously if the rates are high, and in some cases $500 to $1,500 a month high, it just takes you totally out of the ball game. So how are they going to be able to flip that around? Some people do longer amortization loans. Those were a big thing that were for a little while, where they're going to 40 years,
40?
some to 50 years, just to get that payment down. And again, I think most people, Andy, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think most people think just about the payment versus what they're actually paying for something.
People live in the payment, not the price. We had a meeting yesterday talking about this with new construction, and all these companies are starting to advertise, hey, we've got 5.8%. Most consumers cannot equate that to what that means to them. It's just a number, right? And it's like saying something's half off. Well, Rolls Royces are 13% off. What does that mean? If you tell somebody, hey, a Rolls Royce right now, you can drive it off the lot for $2,000 a month on a payment, they understand that, right? So it's like when you tell somebody, hey, here's the payments that we can offer on this value of house, makes it very tangible, I think. So when you push payments on things, that's where people live, unfortunately. Or they that's how they budget, right? So they say, hey, we make $10,000, $20,000 a month, whatever they make, and then they say we want to give $2,000 a month towards our payment. There you go, and then you can kind of equate that against the rates, because I always say that too. There's always ways to get that payment adjusted, and that's when I shop lenders, or suggest that when people shop lenders, look at the actual payment. Don't always get hung up on the interest rate, because some of these lenders have mortgage insurance premiums for the insurance that are smaller, or they can avoid mortgage insurance by having the seller pay it, a one upfront premium, whatever. And all of a sudden you're $200 a month cheaper with a higher rate. And you're like, wait, how did that happen? So check into that. You're muted, buddy.
I said that's where we're kind of like how we're putting deals together now is like when you're stuck, you got to figure it out. And so people working through the buyer, seller, through the lender, and creating different ways in which to be able to make it. I mean, I wrote 2 offers and they were both contract for deeds. We ended up showing the difference to a seller. They agreed. We ended up financing the property, but they really reduced their price to get us to be able to finance it, versus they didn't want to do the contract for deed. But it was a way in which to be able to kind of get people past the thinking of, oh, your house sucks, I'm not going to pay for it, because it's not the case. That's what people want to do. I mean, I think most people would want to give people a fair price and do that, but they just aren't able to, and they're not able to get it. And so coming at a different direction, it just helps to be able to get what you're trying to do in the end. And that's both really kind of create a win-win scenario, because that's always the best thing. It always is.
You got to look at the big picture, right? I mean, is that sale, or is that, whatever you're giving, is it a, piece of patio furniture? Is it a grill? Is it a, something that they ask for, right? Is it that theater screen in the theater that you wanted to take with you? And, sometimes it's, you leave that behind. It was used anyway, even though you paid full retail for it. I get it. This is where I struggle. Like, you paid 10 grand for that screen because it's the best screen around. It's highest definition. But now you can go to Best Buy and buy that same thing for $1,500 that you paid 10 grand for. So it's like, let them think it's worth 10 grand, get the house sold, move on with life, get into where you want to live and enjoy life, because you'll be much happier, right? So let's say you argue over $500, $1,000, whatever, $5,000, and then you're stuck in that big house with those huge heating bills and those huge tax liability bills, and you wanted to downsize. And now you're literally living on a fixed income and you're stuck in a big old house. Come on. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
But thinking about that, Andy, and taking it a little further, if you think about, if I'm going to move into that house, I want this theater room. It's going to be able to have to work. That's one of the excitements about it, but they're taking it with them. It's going to cost me $10,000 to do it. By you giving it to them, I mean, you might be able to, that $10,000 might have just paid for their closing costs or got their payment down enough to be able to afford the house. And so you're going to realize maybe that $10,000, you'll get the $10,000 that you wanted, but you got to give up the TV that would have cost a buyer $10,000 to go buy it. So they're willing to give you the $10,000 to be able to have that TV. Everyone wins.
Agreed. Whoa.
Any history of depression? I have my real estate license. Do you want Zoloft for Xanax? Nice. God.
Do we have any kind of a filter on this show? That seemed a little risque. That was a little.
Not even risque, but I think they're saying we have issues in our industry.
There's a lot of people that are finding new jobs. I think that when it slows down, and as it is slowing down, it's showing us it's slowing down, and people don't have anything on their plate. This is what I'm going to say this, and this is going to come across rude. If you're sitting there right now and you don't have any active clients as a real estate agent right now today, it actually is a wonderful time to try something new. And I mean that positively, right? So if you can't get yourself together, you're not feeling that groove, you're not, really jiving with what's happening in the marketplace today. Right now, our marketplace needs to thin out. We could use less agents, we could use less loan officers, we could use a lot of, different things. And that happens. We go through these cycles, right? And they always say, oh, the good ones prevail. Well, I think it's the stubborn ones that prevail because they won't quit. And they stay at it and they stay at it. And now, instead of having 20,000 agents in the Twin Cities fighting over the same 50,000 sales, we trim that down to 15,000. And what's funny is that now the business becomes lucrative or profitable for those that stay in it, and then you can provide better service. So what's interesting is the consumer actually wins when things slow down. They'll get better service for the same situation they're in.
Okay.
Personal opinion.
So you're encouraging people to get the hell out of the real estate industry, right?
Did I say that?
Kind of. That's all right.
Get out. There's a fire. Get out.
It's a natural thing, and it will happen. It's happening. It's happening in the title. It's happening in the lender. It's going to happen in the real estate too. So,
sure. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, let's go into the main segment about why this whole housing inventory isn't going to go crazy. It's going to be brought to you by Chris Rooney, Home Experts.
I was just 1 year old when my family started in real estate, where both my parents were agents. They also dabbled in investing in real estate, rentals, flips, and construction. After college, I went right into getting my license in July of 1990. As a 23-year-old agent in an industry that looks nothing like today, I had to know more for my clients to choose me. There wasn't Zillow or social media to tell them how good I was. I had to win them over with knowledge. With knowledge comes confidence, and with confidence comes results.
Whoa.
Andy, that's kind of cryptic. You could figure out how old I am.
Yeah, I know it.
By that article. No. All right. So there's 8 reasons we're not going to have a inventory Armageddon anytime soon. Builders have slowed their production. That is true. Andy knows everything about construction and studies that thing. So go for it.
Well, right now, I mean, we were still building under projection by almost 500,000 homes for what was needed to what we were producing. So even though everybody's like, oh my gosh, new construction's going crazy. Well, that's because it went from nothing to something. And even at something, we're still not there. And now things are slowing down again. And this is why you hear guys like Chris and I saying, hey, there's going to be an inventory issue for a while. Unless those builders start building affordable housing, which they cannot currently do, it's a struggle. They have apartments and they have luxury homes. There's really not for Craig, I was looking at townhouses, Chris, in Maple Grove with a client of mine. They were $500,000 plus for townhouses. And it's like, and the single family homes in that area start at 700 and go up. So you look at that and you go, okay, so how is that affordable for anybody other than, okay, I'll just rent the apartment down the street for $2,000 a month, right? So you do have a little bit of that going on, but new construction, for sure, labor shortages, we had a lot to do with inflation hit that market really fast too, because they had no supply. And then also there was a lot of demand, which jammed the prices way up really fast. So inflation hit that new construction market probably harder than any other sector, and which continued to amplify the problem in the existing home market. Because all of a sudden you see a home for, that used to be 500, now it's 700. And the existing house market goes, well, we can get away with 600 then, right? And that's what was happening. So it's kind of a big brush fire. But I think you're going to see us slowing down.
And they have slowed down. All right. So what's the next one, Nick? Inventory? The reason inventory increased the last time, it was 100% because of the mortgages. And they were bad mortgages, meaning that they were interest only. You could pay less amounts, and you could negative amortization. I meuld there's so many different things that were out there. A lot of people were able to put almost zero down. They could qualify if they had a heartbeat. You could state your income. I work at Hy-Vee in the fruit department, and I make $300,000 a year. And maybe you become a grocery marketing person is what you'd state.
I was going to say you're a grocery executive engineer or something like that, and all of a sudden they can state their income.
Yep. So you just had to kind of just get in, but because the thought was it didn't matter. You're going to get in. You'll turn around and sell it in a year anyways, and you'll make 28, 30, 40, 50,000, and maybe even in a couple months that you would have. So that's not the case now. I mean, everyone that won these multiple offers was paying for it, and it was paid for it in cash. So unless these people have all gone out and taken home equity loans since then, and got their equity all out of these properties, which I don't think they have, we're not going to have that problem again. It's totally different.
I think this time around, no wishful thinking here by any means. Where I'm more concerned is with consumer credit and the housing. If anybody that bought a house is low interest rate, very secure, to have nice equity, they have lots of money. People that are in that position just don't move. They just sit tight, right? They hang tight. If they're struggling with their job, they'll get a roommate, whatever, right? They will stay put. Where I worry about all these like toys, the expensive side-by-sides that are $40,000 and they've got them on payments, or the ice castles that are $80,000 ice houses that they're pulling around. They only get to use 4 times a year. Those are the first kind of things that, again, not saying, just guessing, that those people that have those items on payments, which I'm guessing they did because, a lot of people don't have the extra $80,000 for an ice castle. Those are the first things that come back in a consumer crunch.
And the rates were low, so why not take financing on them?
Right, exactly. So you'll see some of those things happening. I think there'll be more consumer goods that will become available at a very fair price. So the bargain shoppers that are out there, I don't think the bargains are going to be in real estate right now. I think the bargains are going to be in everything else. Cars, houses, whatever, again, supply and demand game on top of that. But
kind of like Mercedes Sprinters with gas at $5.39 a gallon for diesel, those kind of things.
Yeah, you've got yourself a permanent driveway ornament.
It's nice to sit outside your house with. It is. You just don't drive it around.
I was just bragging about you the other day with that, saying that you can pull up and do a whole deal right in his van, and they go, in a van?
It is awesome. I'm telling you. I pull over. It is really nice, but
we still haven't done the show from your van yet.
I know. I will do that once I figure out how to use that stupid. Oh God, what is it? SIM card that's supposed to give me internet, and of course I can't figure this stupid thing out, so I have to use my phone. And so, all right. Unemployment peaked in October of 2009 at 10%. So if you didn't have a job, you weren't going to make your payments, and the current unemployment rate in the U.S. now is 3.5%. Is that true?
No, it's lower than that.
You think so?
I think it is actually.
It was a little higher last time I heard, but it was. Who knows? You can't believe
it is. But the counter people are saying that a lot of the gig jobs are counting as employed. So the Ubers, and they're counting those numbers.
Oh, okay.
Well, right. So, I mean, if you're producing, why would you track employment numbers if you weren't trying to track people making income? Yeah. That's all you're trying to say.
Yeah. But no. True. I mean, obviously, you got to be able to make your payments. That's how people stay in the houses. But that's the other thing, is that they're so affordable now. And I mean, and I really believe that a contract for deed market is going to happen. I really do. I mean, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't someone who can get most of the money probably out of their house? People have money to be able to put down, whether that they can go borrow the whole down payment. So let's just say you owe $500,000 and your house is worth $850,000, and those people come in and you want them to do a contract for deed on your mortgage, so what you have, and so you need $350,000 down to be able to cover that gap, and then they could go to you and say, hey, I'm going to borrow the $500,000 from you because you have it at 2.75%, and let's just say I agree that, you know what, I'll give it to you at 5%. You go get that $350,000. And you go anywhere. Who cares? Because it doesn't matter. You don't have to qualify. You can go wherever you want, get that $350,000 added on, and we got a done deal. And your payments are going to be a lot better. And the seller is going to make money even after they've sold their house and made their full value for it. And now there's a thing called a due on sale clause, but I just think that's going to. There's always been that, and people have always done it. So.
I've got an investor right now that'll do contract for deeds that don't have anything to do with the sellers. They'll do the contract for deed for you, act like a bank.
What rate?
About 7.25.
See, that's the thing where a seller could actually do it for way cheaper, and it would be a huge impact for people, and they'd still make money. As an investor,
I'm looking for the
gotta
kind
make
of
money.
person that has a ton of cash, and let's say they're an Uber driver, right? And they want to buy a $400,000 house, and they have $100,000 to put down. This would be a perfect setup where, because they can't verify their income or their taxes aren't done quite right, this gives them up to 3 years to figure that out. They can still get a house, lock it in.
Well, you're talking about your contract for deed guy, which is a great thing to have.
Yep,
So,
investor money.
all right. In the Great Recession, homeowners owed more than their homes were worth with no equity and more likely negative equity. 100%. We kind of went over that. Is exactly what happened because, again, there was mortgages where you had the choice. You could pay one of 3 payments. You could pay $1,500, which was way low. They'd add the extra to your balance. So if you owed $300,000 at the end of that month, you'd owe $303,000, then $306,000, then $309,000. But your payment was low, or you could pay like a little more, or you could actually pay the real payment. And so people were totally upside down. And then when that started to happen, then they started dropping, and then short sales happened, then foreclosures happened, and everything went to hell. I just don't think we're going to have that. I just don't.
And I've said this a million times before, but I mean, I remember I'd have normal mom and pop American people with normal jobs coming in and wanting to build an $800,000 house with stated income. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, we want to build our dream house. We're going to live there for 2 years. We're going to flip it. And then we're going to make all this because houses are appreciating at 12% or more a year. So we'd rather make 12% on 800,000 than we would on 400,000, even though they really could only afford a $400,000 house. But with stated income, they could do whatever they wanted. So they made the decision to go higher because they wanted to make the money that wasn't really theirs. And so, and hence the problem with a lot of people, all of a sudden when, times got challenging and payments kicked into full speed, or they were adjustable rates or whatever, and they adjusted, and all of a sudden they couldn't stay. And then they went to go sell their houses and they were worth less than what they paid for them. And then they couldn't write out the checks. And so there was so many catastrophic things that went into, Chris, you and I were sitting there watching this happen going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then all of a sudden it's like, all of a sudden it started imploding on itself. And you're like, yeah, we saw it coming. This time I don't see anything like that at all.
Okay, you could rent your home in the same neighborhood for a smaller monthly payment than you were paying on your mortgage. 100%. I mean, that's the thing. If people want to lose their homes, or if they're going to go bad and they lose their job, they can easily rent it out and make a bunch of money on it. I mean, their payments are so low, and I think the next one was that basically everyone refinanced at 3% or lower. Okay, well, if that's the case, I mean, everyone is for super cheap, and that's why I think there's going to be some transfers with contract for deeds, not just holding it as a rental. So,
well, and I think there's some misled people out there in the world too that will have that equity, not realize that there's equity there, and then they'll be like, I just got to get out of this payment. I lost my job, and they panic and they want to sell. And there may be opportunities for assumable mortgages. There may be opportunities for people to come in and pay cash and buy them out at what they owe. And all of a sudden, there's an upside to that. There, granted, now there's a fine line there for real estate agents. That's equity stripping, but we can't do it. But other investors do it all the time. The flippers or the whatevers you want to call them.
all right. Thanks largely to COVID-19, we're thanking them. Wow. Many would-be sellers turn their homes into vacation rentals. Others may keep their homes and turn them into traditional rentals. I think we just talked about that. Actually, we kind of threw 3 of these together. They had to get 8, so we had to throw this in. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people kept their houses. I know on the lake, that was a big one. COVID, no one was selling their house on the lake. And that's how the lake just went boom, 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 because there was no houses available because everyone said, well, geez, if I'm stuck here, this is where I'm going to be stuck. Yeah. Speaking of stuck, how is your little piece of land up in Alec?
Stuck? What are you talking about stuck?
Well, because you had did you get a big piece of machinery stuck up there while you were trying to reform the whole lake lot illegally?
There may or may not be a new nesting bed for walleyes that's shaped like a bobcat. I may or may not have driven out in the lake and sunk it. We don't have the photos back yet or the satellite images yet to really decipher who did it.
Who dat?
It wasn't me.
Do we cover all 8 reasons, Nick?
It was a local guy that I hired that looks just like me.
Yeah, we did. And that last one really goes with the next segment about Airbnb prices in Minnesota. I'm curious to what you guys think about it and the prices, and I'll tell you how I feel. But it's going to be brought to you by Andy Praske, Preferred Home Team. Andy, do you want to take it away? Your voice is good again.
Yeah, I'm back. Hey, no, this market right now can be scary, when you really think about it. But you take your time, make a plan, sit down and put all the facts in front of you. Look at what your house is worth. Look at what the new purchase is going to cost you. Look, if you have to borrow money, we look at what the cost of money is, and then we make a plan that works for you. We are still successfully moving families, tapping into some of that great appreciation that they've had over the last couple of years in the houses. And we are getting people into their dream home still in today's market. And things are going great. I like I said, even new construction right now, some of the incentives on new construction are pretty exciting. And people don't understand that a free basement's worth $45,000. Or, we have somebody buying down. If you have to borrow money, they're buying down your interest rate for you. So you get the efficiencies of new. You get the low lot taxes for the first year. Great way to introduce yourself to a new energy efficient house that's not going to have any wear or tear on it for 10, 15 years. So there's no big expensive items as well. So new construction still exciting for us. So anyway, need any of that? You want any of that? You're interested in talking? Let's set up a time to talk.
Hey, Dick, I appreciate you doing that. I got all my emails done during that time. That was really good.
I took 7 minutes of the show to do my commercial. You're welcome.
It was beautiful.
It was good, though. It was. Okay. What are we doing here? So what are Airbnb overall, Nick? What are they doing? Are they're going
skyrocketing? Up? Yeah, skyrocketing because it's turned into a total industry, and people decided they can make a ton of money. And before it was, hey, I'm going to rent out my extra room and for very cheap, but now people are paying off their rent, in 3 days of Airbnb, and basically, so it's turned into a massive business. And I'm curious what you guys think of these prices here. Do you think it's a smart little business plan, or where you see Airbnb going in Minnesota?
Well, a lot of cities are fighting it. With neighborhoods are fighting it. Associations are fighting it. Lakes are fighting it. That they don't want Airbnbs on the lake. I know Prior Lake's got a moratorium on them, and it's only the people that had them before. It's crazy. They get a ton of money. I know some people that own them are good, but yeah, it's I don't know. It is interesting. I think it was one of those ways for people to just get a little extra money if they weren't home or they were traveling or they had an extra room. And now it's turned into big companies buying them and making like little hotels out of it. So,
and think about liability, think about insurance, think about all the factors that go into it. Think about if you have somebody renting a house for one day, who's going to clean it for you. So also, I think a lot of these people that romanticize the idea of saying, hey, I'm going to make 10 grand a month extra on my house. Well, that turns into a full-time job. You just cleaning toilets and changing sheets. And all of a sudden you realize, wow, that is a full-time job. So I think what happened with pricing is just reflective of I don't want to deal with it factor unless I can make this much. And honestly, and so it went from being, something that used to be reasonable and cheap and reliable to unpredictable and expensive.
The thing I don't like about them is all the tricks. I mean, where you had that little, pull that up again, Nick, that map, where it says it's $320. That's really about $600 after they figure all the fees in and cleaning and everything else that's added to it, which is a little frustrating. But I thought what was really interesting about this and how popular it's become is that there was that dome home in Wisconsin that ended up, which would have been worthless. Nobody would have ever bought that thing. But it's kind of a cool thing to be able to have and to be able to go stay in. And people think that's kind of neat. And so they were able to get it for not that expensive and be able to rent that thing out probably for $400 or $500 a night, just because of kind of it's unique. And why don't that right there, Earth and Home in Minneapolis. it's just like, it's just something that, oh, that's so cool. It's so different, where that would never ever sell, but yet they're making what, $235 a night times 30 days. I mean, they're making $7,000 a month on that thing.
And it's got a lot of reviews, so it's been booked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think Andy's,
our lake place, we've got one that's rented. I mean, all the time. I mean, even during the week, they'll have like a reunion or a business trip. I mean, and they've got this little A-frame, and they literally jokingly call it like the Little Dipper. And they it's a cute little place, and everybody that rents there is very nice. I mean, we've never had an issue with anybody, other than they don't understand how to drive. They have a golf cart that comes with the place, and they drive over everybody else's yard, and they don't, but who cares? You know what I mean? I got bigger fish to fry. But the idea there, though, is that they're making a very lucrative situation. But I mean, I'll tell you what, Chris, I've seen that owner, the guy that owns the place, all of a sudden he's over going, I don't know what they flushed, but the whole main floor flooded from the toilet. Yeah. Or I'm over there tonight, I had to they brought out literally a temporary toilet outside just because they keep having issues with people flushing stuff. And I'm like, put up a sign. I mean, you'd think, right? But I mean, hey, that's being a landlord, brother. I mean, that is, and it's mega amplified. It's not like you're visiting once every 6 months. You're visiting like every other day. So it is a very hands-on business.
100%.
What do you guys think of these prices, though? They don't seem too bad for Lake Minnetonka. I mean, there's a decent home here for $170-some in Excelsior.
Right.
It depends where it is.
I think we did
99 in Excelsior.
Oops, I just lost it. Right here, this one.
Hot.
This one. I think we did a
hey, you know whose this is, Andy, on the far left? You know who's part of that one? Right there? Jennifer Durkheising.
Oh, is she?
Yep, they're part of that. They bought that.
The guest house. That's right. Yep.
Bed and breakfast in Excelsior. Did a really good job. Boy, they do marketing too. Do you know she also has a crisp and green too? That girl just goes.
Yeah.
Jennifer was on our radio show many times.
Yes.
Really good lender too. So
I still deal with her Nate that is with their company quite a bit. He runs the Refined. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, let's go into the top-rated high schools in Minnesota. So I got 10 of them. I want you guys to guess 5, and whoever gets
better be on that list, or Nick, or we're all done.
Whoever gets the most correct is going to win it, and then I want you guys to kind of discuss the importance of schooling and real estate. So,
what context best? Sports?
No, academics. Top-ranked Minnesota schools for academic schooling. You know.
Okay, Centerville,
public or public and private?
It looks like both.
St. Thomas.
Yeah, it's both here, public and private schools.
Okay.
So what is it? St. Thomas Academy, Minnehaha, Mounds View, Centerville, Wayzata.
Just 5, Andy.
Guess 5. That's all you wanted was 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, for you. Did he do 5?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Minnetonka, Breck, Wayzata. Did I say Edina?
Nope, Edina.
And I'll give Benilde.
Ooh, okay. Never thought about Benilde. Then you can start doing Totino and all those other ones.
Math and Science Academy in Woodbury Crossing.
Oh, geez, we don't even know these.
Oh, it's all these charters.
We don't have sports programs. We don't care.
Nova Classical Academy Upper School and
they rigged their scores.
Look at this. No, here you go. Eagle Ridge Academy Charter, and then Orono. Minnetonka's 5th.
Minnetonka.
Why is that out? Oh, look at this.
Oh my God, Chris! Look at you. You're a rock star.
Eastview and Egan. Wow.
Yeah.
Matamidi. Okay.
I was close. I meant to say that one. Do you have the top 100?
We didn't say Prior Lake or Champlin. Why not?
Well, as soon as he said I knew we were heading down a weird path when he's like academics and whatever, because some of these charter schools specialize in mathematics, and you know what I mean. 7
kids go to that first school that Nick was through out there.
The owner's kid.
I bet you the people that even bring their kids there don't even know the name of that school. What was it again? What's the name of that school? My God.
Twigs and Berries
Math
University. or
and
something?
Science Academy in Woodbury Crossing. In Woodbury.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, come on. That's
Yeah, nobody knows that one.
congratulations.
That doesn't fit on a jersey, boys.
My goodness. Hey, the one thing is though, don't they have the right to be able to play sports with the local school that they're in though? If they're in the district, they can still play there.
Well, Providence does. Like you saw Providence in the boys football.
Yeah. Yeah, why
playoffs.
is Providence? I mean, Providence is that's a good school.
Yeah,
That wasn't in there, was it?
They just try to get you into Ivy League colleges.
Yeah, I mean, just Ivy, no big deal.
Huh.
Okay, so we
the
did okay on that.
importance- I know schooling is different now because a lot of people are remote working and remote school. So
What do you say? Do you have a question?
I said the importance of this, like the value, because now with the remote schooling and so forth, isn't it kind of changing the school districts?
Absolutely.
I suppose if you could do everything online, I suppose, sure.
Yeah, everyone has the ability to stay online if they want to. There's people that do flex learning, and it's really changed quite a bit. But I also think education is kind of how you determine and how you take it. You know, because some people, it doesn't matter what you tell them or do. I mean, if you're not willing to do it or to listen or do homework, which I don't think a lot of people are, they're having a lot of problems in schools. But I think that's one thing with if we're talking purely the real estate market. I don't think so much it's killing people. I've got a great example. It's Shakopee. Okay, Shakopee was never really an upper bracket type home, but Southwest Christian is in there, and Holy Family is out that way. So people that are maybe living in Lakeville are getting a little closer. Maybe they want to be closer to the freeway. Well, what is it? It's Shakopee. Now all of a sudden there's houses that are rising in there because of that. And maybe none of their kids are going to Shakopee, but they have options and they can put them somewhere else. So
Yep.
it's helped the real estate market and kind of opened it up a little more. I mean, I remember when we left, we had to get into the school district so Nick was eligible to be able to play sports. We had to move into that district in which to be able to do it, else you wouldn't be eligible. So it was
Right. No, and then the rules are the rules. I mean, to be fair,
yeah.
that's why I think this open enrollment thing is kind of BS, because you could have kids saying they're coming in from Michigan and I open enroll to Wayzata. And do you just show up for the football season, then you go back to online schooling at home?
Hey, we had to take pictures of our closets, for gosh sakes.
Oh.
I was like, the kid's not even going to play. What the heck? What do we have to do all this stuff for?
All that for debate team. That's a lot, Nick.
I know.
Jeez.
Hey, it worked out. It worked out well.
It did.
Hey, I can't. This last thing, this is a viral photo from a Minnesota lady. And after you see this, I want you kind of will appreciate the beauty of Minnesota.
I hope I don't know her.
You see, it's like the ocean. Like it looks like the ocean, the clouds.
That's like
Very cool.
almost like a fake picture, but that's really cool.
It does.
It almost looks like that those white clouds underneath are like the after splashes that hit the shoreline.
Right. It's cool.
Really cool. That was in Minnesota. I've got a super cool one I took the other day. Just saying. Did I send it to you, Nick? That's sunset on Prior Lake. It was awesome. Well, I'm going to do what Andy does. This is what Andy always puts his right up to the camera. I'm doing the same thing here.
Do it, man.
I
I want to see you shirtless in the sunset. We want now people focus on the sunset, not Chris's nudity in this photo. I'm telling you. Look at that. Wow. That is right there's your listing photo.
I know, isn't that something?
Jeesh. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, that was just the other night. It was crazy. All of a sudden it just started. I'm like, wow. So I snapped it.
Cool sunsets this fall though, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's the weather, the high pressure systems or whatever it is. And then it's been, man, there's been some really cool sunsets.
We just need rain. Rain. Prior Lake, the lake is so far down, it's crazy. So We need rain.
We had that happen last year, and then in Alex, all of a sudden in the spring, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Then they got hammered with storm after storm after storm, and all of a sudden the lake went up like 2 feet, and it was like at the flood level almost,
It'll come back. Yeah. The beauty of Minnesota is almost going bye-bye, though. And now it's going to have to be the beauty of Arizona and Florida for some of us.
Oh, yeah. All you see is taillights leaving the state heading south.
Yeah.
All our retirement, what do they call those? The
Snowbirds?
What?
Snowbirds?
Snowbirds. Yeah. They're all flying south.
I'm driving to Nashville 2 weekends. It'll be fun.
I've got my mother-in-law and her friend Tom are down there in Fort Myers right now, and they had their RV fifth wheel. They have a big expensive land yacht, or I don't know, or mobile suites. That's what it was. And because I always made fun of them, I says, well, geez, what do you have? 50 grand invested? I had no idea that these things are 300 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no idea. And so they actually were part of the storm surge, and they had even their upper cabinets on their lot that they're on got flooded. And so they totaled this thing, and they just got down there, I think yesterday, and they started going through this, and it stinks so bad. Because think about this: gross salt water with crap in it, getting into your RV, and then all of a sudden the sun's 90 degrees the next day, baking it. And it's just, you open up the door and you have to plug your nose. It's so gross. Yeah. And so then what happens is there's a lot of people, I know we've all overheard this, but like with flood insurance, it's funny. Flood insurance down there is so expensive, most people can't afford it. So there's a gigantic number of the people that got the storm surge that will not be rebuilding their houses because they don't have the money. And they lost everything they have. And so there's in this situation where it was still an RV, they had it under their homeowners. But if you don't have flood insurance at your home, you don't have flood insurance on your RV. So then it's like, then what do you do, right? So anyway, they've been battling with that, just like a lot of us up here with hail damage. But man, I tell you, they said it's still clean up. They'll be doing it for a month down there. So,
yuck.
I don't know. Most snowbirds don't sign up to go south to work. They go down south to enjoy cocktails, bike rides, and sunsets. You know what I mean? Or Nick and all the snowbirds.
Yeah. So
anything big coming up for you guys?
Yeah.
Not really.
I'm excited. I got a meeting with our old buddy Ryan Yardley.
What was that, Andy?
I said I've got a meeting. I've got a meeting set up with our old buddy Ryan Yardley, who set up set up this whole thing back in the day. He's still alive and well and kicking butt and taking names, and we're gonna go have a little coffee.
Oh boy,
or margaritas or whatever he chooses.
God, you two together. Oh man.
I literally have told him. I said, this will be my meeting or this will be your meeting. And then I literally have to physically pinch my lips and be quiet. Otherwise, these meetings go on for 3 days.
Yeah, for sure. You two guys.
And then he gets excited, and then I get excited, and then we're and the people are like staring in the restaurant at us, and it's like we should have our meetings at our office. Set a timer, and then okay, go.
He's not kidding.
No, we got some new listings coming on. Got some new stuff coming. So a lot of our stuff still. My strategies with my clients is get the houses looking great, prettier than anything else on the market, price it fair, and they're selling right away. I've actually got one that went on the market today in Maple Grove. If you look it up at Prasky.com, you can check that out. And I think it went live today. Yeah, we got lots of fun stuff on as well. A lot of lifestyle things. I really love that market segment, lake acreage golf type stuff. And we got some neat stuff. Hopefully a couple of them are going to get sold here real quick. So they will.
Beautiful. Awesome. We'll wrap this up. Make sure to give us a little review on the iTunes or the Spotify. Also posting 3 digestible clips on our Facebook and YouTube channel. Send in any questions you have, and we'll see you next week. And everyone have a happy Halloween. Andy, get lots of photos so we can use it for the podcast.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry. You're cutting out.
See you guys.
All right. See ya.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Real Estate Radio Hour. Don't forget to visit our website, realestateradiohour.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or your preferred podcast listening app. If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes or sharing us with a friend. Until next time, stay awesome, Twin Cities.